and the weather is cooler a little bit, which is great timing. Although we have to be on the lookout. There are storms in the area. I might have to leave the stream momentarily to close the windows. Is that an airplane or thunder that I hear? I think it's an airplane. Welcome everybody. Schieberspieler, good to see you. Asterbait, as always, Asterbait just resubscribed. Resubscribed tier 3, 42 months in a row. The VIPs in the house. Schieberspieler, Asterbait. Spectacular Camels here, helping with the Thursday subscriber stream. Who else is lurking? Let me know if you're lurking out there. So I've got a bunch of games. Thanks to you, Bodice, for putting the study together. I was away last week. Sans computer. It was very freeing to go for a week without turning on my laptop. Good vacation. We were lucky with the weather, though it was very hot. Nothing like Seattle. Yeah, good vacation. Definitely needed a break. What's that message I just got? I've got submissions from Princess Chess, who's been a great supporter of the stream. Yvades also. Asterbait, 3 huge supporters of the stream. Uber Driver. Husky, who's relatively infrequently here. Strong player. Tezake. Schieberspieler's game got submitted. I'm sorry. And Dracofire 3-3. I guess I have to honor Flamingo Pop's request since he is a subscriber. His chat privileges have been revoked. But anyway, I guess as long as he's still probably a subscriber, we'll do the game. I'll try to keep it as quick and painless as possible. Schieberspieler. Princess Chess is back. Princess Chess 6-4. Snuggles the Snail. Frog it up. Frog it up Friday. No, it's Thursday. That's a cool emote, though. Probably my favorite emote. The one that Princess Chess... I'm sorry, Snuggles the Snail uses. Alright. Without further ado, let's get started. Let's get this over with. And I didn't mention Dracofire was the 8th submission. Mr. Slaggy. Alright, I don't know. I was a little fatigued today. My problem was I should be rested from vacation, but normally on Thursdays I sleep late. It's my late sleeping day, and there's construction underneath my apartment, so they're waking me up at 7:58. I was pissed, but I try not to get angry about stuff. It's not good for your health to get angry. You know, just let it roll off your back. You can't control it. Don't worry about it. Alright. So first game, Princess Chess 6-4. Again, thanks for showing up, Schieberspieler. We've got Princess Chess game first, and she's here, so let's get on with it. E4, E5, knight to F3, knight to C6, bishop to B5, the Schliemann or Janisch, or Janisch. As preparation for OTB, I'd look at your analysis. Who's that? Acerbate's analysis? Schieberspieler, are you going to travel days back? Just ruins it? Oh yeah, it wasn't fun. The trains are slow because of the heat here. They slow them down. Normally 2.5 hour train took 3 hours and 15 minutes. And then there's terrible traffic in Budapest. Because one of the bridges is under construction. It was kind of ugly. Nothing like New York City, but still. Alright, so we got Schliemann mainline with knight c3. This d3 is all the rage now. If I was preparing for tournament play, D3 and knight C3 are our main issues. So knight C3 now, major branching point. I guess I like the forcing nature of pawn takes pawn. Nefedov plays the main line with D5. This is playable. It requires a lot of theoretical knowledge. B-Jock, we're not going to start again. You didn't send it to Yabatis? Why are you such a problem every week? Alright. I have to search my personal messages for B-Jock's game. I don't remember getting any message from you. Except you challenged me. When was that sent? When was this message sent? Why doesn't it say yesterday? Yesterday. That's why. I guess I didn't log in yesterday. So therefore I didn't get the game. I got it. I got it. But we're interrupting my analysis. What, we got lag? King 80. Got it. I look spiffy. I've got like my oldest t-shirt on. It has 2 holes in it. But it's the thinnest t-shirt, and if it's hot, it's good. Uber driver's always very complimentary. You gotta like that. Alright, 9 games. So anyway, back to Princess Chess. Seabreeze 100 versus Princess Chess. Actually, Seabreeze 100 rated 21. Wow, 2241. What is this time control? 1200 plus 3. $20 minutes. I'm a math whiz. Nice haircut. Oh no. The ever troublemaking GM tranquilizer. The fake tranquilizer. Tan, I wish. I wish I had a tan. It takes me like months to get a tan. It's more like mild sunburn. 20 plus 3. Alright. So you played knight of 6. This is an important point though. I mean, this is important variation. This is playable. I would say this is like the main line. And knight f6 is interesting. So this should be considered, Princess Chess. Maybe the simplest variation is like taking knight f6. The easiest to learn with the least theory. Yeah, speaking of Bob, I haven't seen Bob in a while. Yeah, Bob might be into me now. Very strong chance. I've got a different chair, so I'm going to look like a little different angle here. But my back was pretty much shot from that other chair. This feels a bit more comfortable. We're at a different angle on the camera, slightly. So I think that's the easy way to play. This is the complicated way to play. And now knight f6, I don't know. This is the line I know the least about. I think there's even another move. You can actually play knight d4. As I mentioned earlier streams, there was a book that Weedmaster, my friend Joe, recommended. Recently published on the Schliemann. And I can't remember the guy's name now. Some like candidate master from Asia. Because I can't even remember what country he's from. I think it was like a Filipino candidate master, or maybe not. The name will come to me, but anyway, Junior Tay, that's it. Junior Tay, book on the Schliemann, had good reviews. It's good to have a modern book in an opening like that. that's been checked with like computers and stuff. Yeah, the problem. Well, I don't know about d6. That's probably pretty bad. You get like crushed by d4, I guess. This looks like Philidor counter gambit, man. It's pretty close. Yeah, I mean, you'd think it would be solid, but it's not. I think this makes sense principally. You play f5, you destroy center. That makes the most sense. That gets my vote. It's 12 moves, it's going to take an hour. Your games always take me forever. The problem here, Princess Chess, is pawn takes f5. The statistics don't look great for black. Massive, like, white blob there on the graph. Like, when you see a graph where it's like 61% wins for white, you's in trouble. The second best move is 56% wins for white, and the third best move is 50%. These are all the different moves that black can play. Anyway, like, e takes f5 is the problem. Your opponent didn't know the theory, so he played queen e2. This is likely to transpose to something after pawn takes here. But again, Princess Chess refuses to release the tension and goes into another Philidor counter gambit looking thing. I don't like the look of d4 here. Nobody's played d6 before, but queen e2 is rare as it is. So, I mean, I'm thinking you just take here. You're probably going to transpose to another line now. Yeah, you transpose back into theory. You're transposing back into f takes e. I don't mind this. There's a weird line, queen e7. That looks very strange. You're supposed to play d5. I've played this position with white, come to think of it. A lot. Maybe not a lot, but knight f6, gf6, d4. Yeah, I mean, Nefedov and I have had games in this line here on my stream. Bishop g7, pawn takes. Here's another interesting move, c4. I was saving that for my next game with Nefedov. Sharma Pranav, you have to get the games in earlier to get them analyzed. Most people submit the games a few days before the stream. But if no one else has a game, then we can take Sharma Pranav. Sharma Pranav, if you submit it to Yabatis, you have to send us the game before someone else does. Anyway, but something weird happened. d6. Alright, if white doesn't bust you with d4, I mean, even this is probably good. Take, and then d4. Still white is doing okay. But white has to act quickly now, or else just gets nothing. This is lame. How the heck can you play d3 with white in the Schliemann? I mean, now what? What has white got? Like, nothing. Bruno Laurent. Nothing at all for white. And eventually black will have this hinge on the f-file. You must act aggressively. Black is the first to break here, getting away with what is effectively like a good Philidor counter gambit. And I don't think this is called for. You know, I would want to get out of there as fast as possible, Princess Chess. What's your plan, by the way, if a6, bishop c4? You're going to go after that bishop? I I don't condone a6 here. I mean, your king is in the center of the board. You're playing a risky opening to begin with, and you're like playing a6. You're asking for trouble. The bottom line is like bishop e7 castles and you're out of the woods. The last thing you're worried about here is like bishop takes c6. That's not a problem. If bishop c4, you chase it down. So I don't get a6. a6. And I guess anything like this, or this and this. So white takes. What do we have here? It's basically like a 4 knights reversed, where it's a reversed 4 knights Rubinstein variation, where white like magically jumped his f pawn. Imagine this position. White is Princess Chess Black here is white side of a 4 knights defense or 4 knights game where she could magically like play f2, f4 over the knight on f3. That is great, you know? You're like, hey, that's an extra move, great. a6 was a waste of time. Yeah, I mean, white, yeah, white needs to act fast. Even if it's tempo loss, I agree. Can d4 work here? GM Tranquilizer. Not a subscriber. But we love you anyway. d4. Anyway, a tempo down. Yeah, I mean, because of a6, white probably has time for that. Of course. But of course. Mr. Coffee's here. We're back. This d4 looks pretty good. That's a good suggestion. Now what is black supposed to do? Black's going to have to get creative after d4. Any suggestions, actually? That move looks really annoying. Wait, it's like, well, I played d3, so I don't want to play d4. This is probably good. Yeah, that's a tough position. E takes d4, E takes f5 check, queen e7. Knight takes d4, queen e2, knight takes, c5, knight e6, bishop e6, f e6, king e7, knight f4, g5, knight e2, rook g8, with the idea of king e6. Oh my god. Look at this position. This is like best play. This is because of a6. It's all because of a6. I mean, first of all, she made the mistake of d6 and then a6. In an opening like the Schliemann, you cannot afford to make any mistakes. But white wants to play like passively. He's like, no, I don't want to get an advantage. I want to be worse. Thank you, bishop e7. And now it's a different story. Black's probably fine. I would prefer to be black. Castle, castle, bishop g5, pinning nothing. Now, I ask you the question, how is white 2241? He's made consistently passive moves, doesn't know opening theory, and then plays like bishop g5, pinning nothing on the diagonal. Do we have a tactic? We do. There is inflation, but still, I mean, 2241 is pretty decent. 2241 is like 2,000 plus USCF. Give or take 200 points. I would call him, he should be like a 2,030 USCF rated player. He should be like a 1900 FIDE. He's having a bad night. Bang! Princess Chess smacks him with a tactic. Very strong move. Honestly, I would look at this positional approach too. Trading like bad bishop for good. But you got to calculate a sequence that kind of kills. So you can't take the pawn, threatening knight f4. So maybe white has another move there. Knight e5 right away. Princess Chess saw that in her sleep. Actually, this doesn't work, does it? We have bishop g5. So knight h5 is an interesting move as well. But if material works, yeah. But are you winning material, or are you just trading? Are you actually winning a pawn here? You are actually winning a pawn, or not? Knight takes, pawn takes. There's no way to save it. Very nice. Yeah. Alright, so what's white's best answer to knight takes e4? What's the best way to lose a pawn here? Yeah, I mean you got the bastion from hell pawn structure. There's nothing that white can do about it. Yeah, I don't have a suggestion. Looks like white's screwed. This, 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 and maybe just try to survive down a pawn. It's not good. So good job. I mean, after knight takes e4, it must be like plus 1.5. It's plus 5. Wait, whoa, sorry. No, after knight takes e4. After the original knight takes e4. This is what I was curious about. All right, what's his best defense? This is the engine. D takes e4. Bishop takes g5. He does have a move. Queen c4 check. He has a move. Yes. The check. I missed it. Now you obviously trade your bad bishop, but he has this unfortunate check in between move. Hitting c6. Rook f7. Queen takes c6. Rook b8. Rook f7 was important to protect this. And now it's 2 knights versus 2 bishops. Material equal. Black is starting to threaten stuff like bishop b7. So you have a significant advantage, but not a winning position per se. Yeah, I mean, if knight takes g5, queen g5, there starts to be bad things in the area. Not to mention f4, f3, the b2 pawn. So, you know, even though he lost in 11 moves, it was a bad position. Simply this was like, he expected her to auto recapture, but she has pawn takes f3. Thank you for the quick game. Analysis for subscribers only, but you're too late, Great Lazarus. We've got 10 games already. Got to get up pretty early in the morning to get a game in here. I recommend subscribing and getting your game in a few days in advance. It was a weird week because I was away, so... Alright. Welcome back, everybody, to my stream. That was first game. Second game is Eubates. Eubates jonesing down at 21.55. Move 11 is in the house. Move 11. Gifted a tier 1 sub to community. He is gifted 177. He gifted a tier 1 sub to NFDS1. Alright. Thank you for the analysis. I will play it better next time. You did okay. But you need to do your homework. That's a very important variation, knight c3. You're out of book. You're out of mainline pretty early there, Princess Chess, with d6. You know, that's an important variation. Actually, I don't really think you should play knight f6. Unless there's some junior say, it was Junior Say, I called him Junior Tay. Whatever. Junior Tay. He has that book on the Schliemann that Joe was talking about. Is there here this? I think this might be what the guy was recommending. Maybe there's something to this. Timon Lombardi, 974. Is there anything here? Knight e5, bishop c5. Alexander Ivanov lost in 2002 to Jakob Meister. I wonder where that was. Not easy to beat Alex. But the computer doesn't like this variation. I think I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, knight f6 is risky. On to the next game. Yabades is black. Knight f3. Now I recommend h6 as I used against Schieberspieler once. Or twice. No, I'm just kidding. Not really a great move. It's just a joke variation. Poor Schieberspieler. He's having a rough night tonight with the game analysis. We'll try to make it fast. So Yabades plays g6. The new Yabades. Iobates. English. And now he unveils his new system reversed. The delayed knight c6. So it's honestly like pretty shocking how few games are existing in this position. Only 5 games in the database or Opening Explorer. It's not really a database. Move 11, how are you? Thank you for the gift sub. Guys, I just want to remind everyone, tomorrow is our usual day. What am I talking about? I'm getting out of myself. Sorry. Tomorrow's Blitz Chess, Friday morning, 11 a.m. We'll have a 2-hour Blitz session with viewers. 5+3 casual, if you'd like to join us. 11 a.m. CEST. Saturday's off. Sunday is my weekly simul stream. Move 11 and others. Hopefully we'll make it. But again, I wanted to just say how surprising it is there's only a handful of games where this has been played. I mean, obviously, like, d5 is critical. And then you have to decide whether to play knight e5 or knight b8. Honestly, I would think you'd want to play knight e5 to trade pieces. Trade pieces is good when have less space. There's a game here, 2 Polish grandmasters, Wojtaszek against Kempinski. And another Serbian game from '89. But that's the way I would recommend playing it. I've probably had this game before. So this is an interesting position. Transposition to a modern. It looks like black's losing a piece. This is a funny line. If f4, bishop d4, and black's better. Well, so says the engine, equal anyway. I would be a little bit nervous about the position of my bishop there. But you can lock it in with c5. Pretty cool. Bishop c2. How does this work? c5. If pawn takes pawn, it's just hanging. Man, this is a cool variation. And now queen b6. Courtesy of Stockfish. Threatening bishop takes b2. Some vague knight f2s. Wow. So for example, takes. Black's fully developed. That is very instructive. Because previously I played this move myself in a game here. See that Gelfand Spindler. Discord. Check out the Discord channel. Alright. Not normally Peter Spindler's repertoire, I would think. But not that bad. Anyway, I just want to show you what you should do in the case of d5. Normally, Yabatis has a predilection to play like knight b8. But objectively, this has got to be better because you're on the pawn here. That's a serious threat. I mean, this is probably worth consideration, just e4 directly. But again, you're trading pieces. So the only way for white to avoid trading pieces would be like knight d2. Maybe like Victor Korchnoi would play that. You don't remember seeing this in a Fred Reinfeldt book? Did he do anything on the modern? I'm getting a challenge in casual 5+3, but my Blitz stream is tomorrow morning. Come back 11 a.m. Friday. There is a similar game, Korchnoi Fischer, which was something like this, I want to say. F5. The Fischer had this idea of playing like F5 and then bringing his knight back to like F7. I wonder how many times Korchnoi played Fischer. Not a lot. So, anyway, this did not happen. White played e4. Now e5. And e5 is a move. But I recommend d6. I'm going to turn off the engine here. I'm not going to sit here and just regurgitate, you know, recommendations from the computer, but we like to do it sometimes to enhance our analysis. The engine is an important tool that should not be abused. Superdriver 8 times they faced each other. That particular modern defense was a spectacular defensive effort by Fischer where he like drew Korchnoi down the exchange. The game that I was referencing. Different move order in the opening, but a kind of modern. So, anyway, Yabatis is supposed to play d6. He goes his own way with e5. Now, I personally like this, which looks like a weird Marazzi or Scotch. Playable, but better for white, as Schieberspieler would tell you. So that's option A. Apparently this is the #1 move. Gligorich versus Raymond. That's kind of awkward. Very awkward. We either have to play f6 or knight e7. So I would say, honestly, Yabatis, there's a couple problems here. I don't like this. This is probably okay. Feingold, Gingy, 1992. Korchnoi, Tal, 94. But, yeah, I'm not liking Bishop G5, and I'm not liking this. I think you should play D6. Anyway, Yabatis is not one to listen to reason. He likes to go his own way. He's not playing Etienne Bacrot. So e5, d5, knight e7. Theoretically, this might be the better move. The idea would be like bishop e3, c5, and you're completely fine. So there's no way to displace the knight on d4. This is actually a good line. So essentially, like, d5 is a mistake because of knight d4. But Yabatis likes this setup. Here, he likes to play it like a King's Indian. Now, this is inane. Like, I mean, I'm extra sarcastic today for some reason. But what the heck kind of move is b3? What is that? Like, this guy's 2181, rapid. b3? I guess it's a mouse slip. The only conceivable idea would be to put the bishop on a3 to try to support pressure on this diagonal, from my perspective. That is the only justifying idea. You play b3, then when black plays e6, you'll play this at some point, and then try to play for c5 and execute pressure, or to put pressure on d6, that diagonal. The only real justification of white's setup. Because look, this is a rock, you know? It's like the rock of Gibraltar. What are you going to do with your bishop on b2 and your knight on f3? If he plays f4 somehow, how is he going to play f4? That requires moving the knight, but like where? Are you going to put it on h4, undefended, g5, unprotected, retreat it back to g1 or d2? I mean, maybe you could play like knight d2. You've got to develop your pieces. This is bad. b3 is bad. Bishop b2, continuation of bad plan. Now h6. Preventing possible knight g5 is the standard move for Yabatis. Bishop e2. What about the e4? Yeah, Uber driver. Honestly, like a4 might be a better move than bishop e2. I wouldn't be surprised. Black could have the option to lock the structure on the queen side. Of course. Another Korchnoi favorite, a4 in the King's Indian. Better suggestion. But I don't know where white should put his bishop. I mean, it seems to me like d3 because the e4 might be an important point. And there we are. Now what do we do? Now what do you do? Queen c2. Played. He has a Victor Erdos set up. I played a weird Bogo against Victor, and it ended up where white had the same configuration. Black could drift into a bad position if he doesn't act fast. If white consolidates control over e4 and then starts breaking down here, you're just going to be worse. So my first order of business is like, what can I do that's active to disturb white's center, disturb e4? How can I put more pressure on e4 somehow? Do we want to look at this, this, and then this? Does this do anything? Does it do anything or not? Maybe like g5. White will consolidate control of the e4 square and remain better, it appears. Questions, anyone? Yabatis, you need to be active here. The other thing is that white has been patient about his king. He's not committing to castle and king side, keeping options open, which means Yabatis is reluctant to like commit to like a pawn roller. Yabatis castles, and then white commits. That might be a mistake. I like white here being patient, but he's kind of running out of patient things to do. I still think maybe his bishop would have been better on d3. So, what about g5? Anyway, white castles queenside. That's a little dangerous. You know, there goes the like c5 plan for white, the traditional sort of castle kingside and play for c5. Black has ways to open the game. b5, a5, a4, slowly with bishop d7. I mean, I like that his knights are redundant. So a6 with the very subtle threat of b5. The problem is, and you've done this before, you can't just play b5 if you can play c5. I think h3 looks reasonable. Okay, so is c5 a move? Probably not. We've got take, and like take here. Honestly, it's very messy. He doesn't have to play c5. I don't like opening the a file. Let's look at it though. It's basically suicide. This diagonal. Alright, so takes is out of the question. I don't like this. You don't want to open the a file. He played bishop d3. I told you so. Nah. I told you should have played bishop d3 in the first place. I'm curious about c5 though. Just to check this. It loses. Wow. F takes. Knight takes. Knight F takes d5. Okay. I took the other way like an idiot. Okay. So that's not an option. Somebody point out the obvious tactical refutation, please. c5 is not an option. I just had to take with the other knight. I took the e knight like an idiot. So white just ignores b5 for now. Plays bishop d3. That looks good. And now you took. Chipping away at the white center. But obviously not the only option. But however, this is becoming a threat, maybe. Take here. a5. Back again? He went back again. I feel like white should be getting on with it. Some kind of attacking move. Why did he castle queenside? Does white have anything here? He has knight takes e5. You know, I wonder about this recapture or capture. If you should even do that. Finally, that bishop and the knight could have some sacrifices. So now it becomes a thing. After this, he has knight e5. Knight e5, pawn e5, d6 check. King h8, I guess. Takes. And it looks like a Dutch. But white likes this structure. His king is safe on this like blocked file where there's a pawn on c7. The white king is safe on c1. So bishop d3, a4, fine with me. And then obviously you can play a3. I would very seriously consider playing a3 here, Ubatis. I don't really see the downside, and you segment as pawns. It's like cutting an ant in half. Ubatis is probably concerned like the pawn would be loose or something. I think you need to play a3. That's a good move. Then you go from there. The other nice thing is like when you play this, like this is not under attack. It's under attack by the queen now. It's completely protected. Knight b3, maybe knight b3, knight e5, knight c6. Anyway, there's a lot to talk about. It's a closed position. I like a3. You see, he doesn't let you... Didn't let you do it again. Just to be proving my point. Dun dun dun. 4.3. Black is better by 4.3. Holy shit. How is it possible? How many people here would have thought Black's advantage was like in the 3 to 4 pawn range? I mean, I guess Black's more dynamic, but that's insane. That's like a lost position based on king position and the melting down of the white center. But I don't like not playing a3. Now you made the most insane move of all time. Yeah, I mean, c6 is normal. c6 is normal, but it involves some risk, you know. If his king moves over to b1, then maybe we end up with a weak pawn on d6. But Yabatis played c5. I don't get it. I've got to be honest with you. I don't get it. I get it. I guess I get it. It's pretty deep, actually. Wow. Does it work, though? I mean, his point must be to, like, take here rook c8 and then c6. Then you sack a knight, take back, rook takes, check, and then white can block with a piece. Which way? With the bishop, with check. I am skeptical, but it's good for black. Man, these pieces can like filter through over now. White's gonna regret casting queenside. That's amazing. c5 was on the list for a while. So there's nothing he can do. He has to do this and try to live with this. Man, get your king off the b file or whatever, the c file. He's got to play king b1 for survival. Takes here. He is winning a pawn. What about like rook c8 now? Oh, snap. Snapple. WJ Loof, welcome back. Subscribe to Tier 1. Resubbed. 24 months. That's 2 years of COVID lockdown. So Yabatis is sharp tactically in this game. Now the big question is what happens if bishop c3. So anything that happens is rook c8 followed by the queen is overloaded. Very nice move, man. WJ Lou 500 pride bits. Very generous, thank you. As always, appreciate it. Very nice move. Bang, rook c8. And now the queen is overloaded. Bishop here or knight here, it doesn't matter. Queen cannot protect two things at the same time. I think he needs to get the hell off the c file. So king b1, let's see, how bad is that? Anyone with a modicum of self-preservation instinct would play king b1. But white does not possess said characteristic. So it's suicide by materialism. Yabatis, I didn't spot it. I was looking for like rook c8, which is probably good too. But your move is more incisive. Very, very nice. Takes, here, here, bishop c3, snap, takes, check. Now it's possible you had something better. You played what looks like the obvious sort of continuation. Hello! Hello, it's me you're looking for. Can we play e4? I want to play e4, but it doesn't work. Now we're coming to my sacrifice. I feel the bad bishop is due for a good turn. I really want to play like e4. Unfortunately, like here, we win his queen with knight d5 check. But unfortunately, he has the queen e6 check, which is kind of annoying. So, here's his sacrifice. With imagination. This is not a sacrifice in the classical sense. Yes, it is. So this, did you miss this move, or you're fully aware of? I mean, I think you're winning like 100 ways from Sunday here. You're winning materially. His king is unsafe. Actually, not winning materially. All right, his king is unsafe, and your pieces are more active. You have a strong center. Blah blah blah. Your rook is hanging. There doesn't seem to be an immediate knockout, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. I think there are probably numerous strong moves for black. Like, off the top of my head, queen c7 looks really solid. With the idea of a3 and just this guy is lost, probably. Tripling on the c file looks very, very promising. But Yabatis found this. Now the problem is check, and the guy can really take this rook on c3. The queen is no longer hanging to knight d5 check. So, does it work or not? It looks like you're winning, except for maybe the king running over here. Back that way. But I gotta admit, this is a pretty good rook sack. Right off the top of my head again, I don't know. I was thinking about e4. Cutting off d3, that's what you played. Opening the diagonal. I think that's a good choice. And now, you know, the option gone. He probably has to go for like knight c4, but he didn't. I think your opponent has a thing for materialism. He's very greedy. He grabbed that pawn on f5, getting in trouble in the first place. Now it grabs another thing. What? Why not knight here? He's probably lost anyway. This knight d5 discovery looks quite interesting. Yeah, it looks very interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if you're winning. Let's check with the Oracle. Yeah, it's totally winning. But only knight d5. What did I just do? Only knight d5. Anyways, I don't think his materialistic approach is going to help. Here, here. Now, you're down the exchange, but who cares? Like, his king is fried. You're down only a minor amount of material, and his king is completely dead. In exchange is nothing. I mean, obviously, you just get the material back with knight f2 if you wanted to. Rook c8, not possible, unfortunately. So now you grab the exchange. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, a rook. So what about d3? Is there a mate? No mates. Knight f2. I mean, it looks like his only safe place to go is like the white squares. Actually, this is pretty nasty. You could play like rook e8. You know, but I mean, that could be kind of a tricky endgame. Like here, takes. The thing is a3. Hello. Nice diagonal. We're going to win the exchange at least. Yeah, you're winning. Nothing to see here. Bang, bang, bang. Winning a whole rook. Check and mate. Very, very nice. It's all good. It's all good. This is a good game. You made a 2181 look like kind of a beginner. Very good. Alright guys, on the third game. Asterbait playing white. We try to do 10 games here on my analysis streams. Welcome. I'm International Master William Paschall, aka Paschall Vilmos, if you're Hungarian. Or Slaggy. My Twitch handle. So we got Asterbait playing 1649 level. Nice job. Moving up in the rapid chess world. Actually, this is not rapid. This is blitz. Asterbait, you have 200 rating point fluctuations. So if you're wondering what this is, so am I. No, this is Asterbait's like pet variation against the Scandinavian. Not great. Black can play either knight c6 or e5. This, however, not quite as good. This is Asterbait's pet variation. However, he's not going to trap the enemy queen. Usually it's an enemy queen trap. Not ever played in this position. I mean, obviously we've talked about this before. This bishop is not active. It's a passive pawn-like bishop, but it does support the d4. Okay. You're also discouraging c5. I should mention that bishop e3 stops the c5 break, destroying white's center. So it's not really clear what to recommend for black here. I feel that c6 is passive, but usually this is what happens. Typically, like here, c4, check, bishop d2, queen b6, c5, queen b2, bishop c3. And Asterbait has won like a number of games by trapping queens in this way. Beer is good. I look 3 times more handsome than I remember. I'm on a health kick. So I'm eating healthy, you know. I cut my hair every 6 months. It's good. Cutting down on the alcohol slightly. But thank you. Bishop e3, c6. At least this way his queen won't get trapped. Not a bad move. c4 check. You know, Asterbait at this point, I think you're making a mistake. You know, you're so used to that queen trap with like bishop d2, queen b6, that you're doing it anyway. At this stage now, after queen a5 check, you need to play knight c3 and develop your pieces. This is no fear. You know, here's nothing. Queen c2. White has a good game. Bishop f5, bishop d3. Enough said. White's better. But this doesn't look right now. You're undeveloping your bishop back to d2. He played queen b6. I'm not sure. You know, maybe queen d8 is an option as well. I can imagine there's ways to get his queen trapped with like bishop a5 somehow. It happened again. The poor guy, like he created an escape hatch for his own queen, and he still gets it trapped with queen takes b2. It's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. He goes to trouble creating an escape hatch and still gets it trapped. Man, I mean, seriously, what about queen c7? I mean, at least that would like control this diagonal too. Not bad, you know, for black. Support e5, like a sort of Slav. Man, I didn't see the writing on the wall. I was like, oh, how is he going to trap the queen with bishop a5? Schieberspieler. This has happened a million times. c5 is probably like a bad move strategically. Black can go back and still have a solid game. It gives him space. It's not that easy for black to navigate, but black is fine here. But he just couldn't resist, and then didn't know this queen trap, and now he's just gone. So like now seriously, Astrobait. This is Astrobait's game. Right, it doesn't matter. Knight f3 or f3, you're winning the whole queen, nothing but the queen, so help me God. If you really wanted to be mean to this guy, you wanted to troll him. No, you can't play knight e2, he gets away. I wanted to do this. He gets away. No, you gotta play either f3 or knight f3. This bishop has to control this diagonal. There's no way to troll your opponent here. This allows queen c1 check. Man, that would be brutal. Helpmate. That's a serious helpmate. Not a good option. So Astrobait would never fall for such trivialities. Knight f3, takes. Goodbye. And then very nice. Let's see how you did. Winning material advantage. And then his king is pretty vulnerable here. The B file is fatal. Right at him on the jugular. What about takes on c5? Is there anything? Does he have anything here? You got this threat. It's totally over. Yeah, Astrobait has lost his ability to prevent. He's lost his ability to play like efficient mates. The old Astrobait would have played queen takes c6. But the new Astrobait is more pragmatic. Is that the right word? Now you played it. Only move. Oof. Rook takes b6 check. Sweet. And this is even sweeter. Wow. Beautiful. Alright, man. Great game. Thank you for sharing. Husky, who I don't know his identity. Quite a decent player. 2266. Submitted the following game against Easy Money. They're both 2260s here on lichess.org. Time control is 5-0. I like to do games that have longer time controls. Blitz games they're alright. But the quality isn't that high, you know. Oh, this is, sorry, 3-0. I can't add. So typically, I'm not telling you guys what to do, but there's really not that much we can get out of the 3-0 games. Alright, Husky submitted a 3-0. My 3-0 games, for example, are usually of horrific quality and basically bullet chess. Anyhow, it's a classical King's Indian bayonet attack. This is all very standard. Black played a5. And now, once again, guys, it's good to be back. Don't forget to support the stream. Appreciate your donations. We had a couple gift subs, some subscriptions, donation from WJ Loof. Appreciate it. Who's not here tonight? Brony says there are some quality point, what, 30 games out there? Yeah, we're not among them. 3-0. Yeah, I mean, like 1 in 100 3-0 games is worthy of going over, probably. So there's two moves here. I think the last time I checked, the BA was the main move. No, it is Bishop A3, according to the Opening Explorer. Okay. This is also possible. I guess he gives the black option of C5. Bishop A3 does not. Okay, so his opponent, right? Yeah, I had a game like this with Enrico Salviano, where I had like a panic attack during the game and lost back in like 1999. Too much coffee or something. I couldn't sit down. I was like super nervous. It was the same variation, I think. Takes B6. This is not regarded as like a great defense for black. Or is it? Bishop A3, AB4 is main line. Bishop takes B6. Back in the day, it wasn't. It does seem to be one of the better scoring variations. White has 41%. Panic attacks, I agree. That was the only time I ever had a panic attack during a chess game. It took me like 5 minutes to contain myself. I think my opponent thought I was having some sort of seizure. But I was just tired, had anxiety, and I like was really nervous during the game because it was very tense. And I guess I had drank a lot of coffee, which triggered it. But B6 is normal. So my game with Saviano was like this. It was A4, knight D7, or knight E8. I think he played knight D7. And then A5. And I don't remember what happened. I think Enrico took here. And I was unsure. The game isn't in there, is it? Could be. There's like 3 hidden games. My game would have been older than all of those. Probably 1999. Possibly even earlier. Yeah, it actually was earlier. It was like 97. 96. Now I remember. It was in Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey airport. The worst place for the New York Open ever. So it was longer ago than I thought. I can't remember which way I recaptured. I probably took with a rook. The game isn't necessarily been published. Especially if I was having a panic attack, I probably didn't keep very good score. I ended up losing a really long, really tough game. But I always thought this was better for white. Here. That's not played in the game though. Rook E8, I mean, I can't believe this is a real move. Wow. So this is actually a lot of theory here in a 3-0 game. Who is this guy? B6, A4, Rook E8. I've got to be honest, like, I haven't studied this theory since like 1998. But I don't really understand Rook E8. This is strange. Why is the rook on E8 blocking the knight? It's no longer enhancing your chances for F5. There's a lot of games here. But they're all by Ye Jingchuan in like 2000. It's nuts. I am shocked how many games there are here. I don't understand Rook E8. What is that move? He's an older Chinese grandmaster, one of the first generation. He's like Windows. He's like Windows XP Chinese Grandmaster. Windows 3.0. 2000. No, I mean, the Chinese didn't get good at chess until the late 80s. So there are no old Chinese Grandmasters. Like, he's like the first generation in the late 90s. But, he was maybe #1 Chinese Grandmaster for a while. This move I don't get. I don't understand this. What is this? What does that do? Why are there so many games with Rook E8? It gets off the diagonal. This is all new to me. So apparently, A5 is overrated. My game against Enrico was something like this, and then A5. And it was a tough game, and I lost because of panic attack. But I still don't understand. I mean, I understand knight H5, I understand like knight E8, I understand knight D7, but I just don't really understand Rook E8. Rook E8, Rook E1. So this is the point. To bring the bishop back to F8. Oh, goody. So it's originally created by the Chinese guy, Ye Jingchuan, 2000. But it's still amazing how many games there are here. Not a lot of recent ones. King's Indian is a little out of fashion, you have to remember. Okay, so it's like a subtle trick. Get the rook off the diagonal, and then you trick white into playing A5, and this is exactly what happened in the game. White's supposed to play rook E1 like a waiting move, and white has a large advantage based on space. But with no breaks other than A5, it's not an easy position to play. But black has a trick. So here, here. This is basically the trick with rook E8. Now the rook is no longer on this diagonal. So you take, en passant, knight takes, and now when you capture here, it's not attacking a rook. And it looks like Husky's move is a novelty. A bad novelty. All the players played bishop takes with mixed results. Nothing special for white. You're trading a weak pawn for the pawn on A5. So Husky just didn't know this. I wouldn't have known it either. Like rook E8 is I've never studied the theory that deep. Queen D6, bishop D6, BA5. This remains a monster now. The AOL phone modem. I like the sound the AOL phone modem made. I miss those modem sounds when they're connecting. Alright. Yeah, something slightly went wrong. I mean, you gave white a passed pawn here, too. Do you really want to do that? Do you really want to hurt me? Why do we want to give white a passed pawn? So rook A5, knight A5 hangs the E5 pawn. Or does it? There's all sorts of tactics now. Boom! Princess chess in the house. With knight takes E4. Everything's lined up. The rook on E8 again is a killer. But it's not passive. It's all theory, Uber driver. It's all theory. This guy knew what he was doing. Exactly. Kind of scary. He's just playing the theory, you know? I guess the King's Indian is just less space, but basically black played perfectly until he decided to, like, give white a passed pawn. You know, he figures, well, he's got an outside passed pawn. The problem is you could cement the bishop in there with, like, C5. And I think, I think this bishop on D6 is so strong, and the ability of C5 and, like, bishop C4, maybe bishop B5. This A pawn isn't really going anywhere. So white is suddenly better. Black tries to trade. Now he's passive. Now he's definitely passive. And the bishop c4 looks like a very awkward occurrence. Or bishop e5. So suddenly it's like, what it looks like to me is like a good exchange variation. It's smoked. Smoked turkey on rye. You got the threat here, and it's just like resigns. He sacks in exchange. I mean, maybe a good practical try. Can black hold down the exchange? Not with that pawn on the board. Like, white played like a perfect game. What's the center pawn loss here? Except for the opening inaccuracy with white's only mistakes were the whole game. White's only inaccuracies were a5, slightly inaccurate, better to play rook e1, and queen takes d6 instead of bishop takes d6. 2 inaccuracies, and the rest was like perfect game. Uber driver, but I mean, you know, you missed the 90s or something. Like, that's the reason why people stopped playing the King's Indian, because of the bayonet attack. You missed that stage. But actually, I don't know. I mean, it seems like knight h5 is just better. You're right in a sense. You know, this is probably better. Hebden used to play king h8. He actually played that against me. If you really want to be, you know, old school, you can do like knight g8, king h8, and f5. Actually, Mark goes knight e g8, knight here. So one knight goes to here, one knight goes to here, and then we go for f5. And you let white like do whatever he wants on the queen side. Maybe it's not that bad. c5, here, knight d2, knight e8, a4. See, Hebden. That's what it's really about in the old days. I probably have a game in there too, from this position. Alright. Anyway. Easy win by Husky. Some inaccuracy in the opening. You're kidding me, right? Oh, I thought it was a London system. Uber driver scared me. I saw a bishop on f4. I saw the bishop f4 move 3, and I thought, oh my god, you wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare submit a London system. What is this, blitz chess? Blitz chess 10 minutes? So-called rapid. It's worse than the London system. It's the Eric Rosen defense. Is this one of his like video series or what? Complete repertoire. Play the England Gambit and the Sheffield Gambit or whatever it's called. No one ever played this against me in 2,000 plus over the board games. Man, did you see that guy get destroyed? Oh, there was some Grandmaster that toyed with him. The Gotham guy played the Hippo against someone in a serious tournament. It's ridiculous. Stick to streaming. So d4, e5. No, I mean he's a clown. Not a serious chess player. He just wants attention. d4, e5, d takes e5. This is just garbage. You can't play this opening. Can't play this opening. It's not playable. Knight c6, bishop f4, queen e7, and now I like knight c3 here. Actually, knight f3. Alright, you're right. Now what's black going to do? Why does nobody ever play this against me? Here, here. Oh, I see. So this is weird. Why, Uber driver? Why are you playing bishop f4 instead of knight f3? I don't understand. It's not the Budapest Gambit. You know what I don't like about that newest GM stuff? There were pictures because he got his GM norm here in Budapest. I don't like the fact that that's not how it works. Like, you don't get the title right away. And not to be like a stickler to the rules, but seriously, the title is a title that's awarded by the federation, the World Chess Federation. You don't become a grandmaster the minute you make your third norm. You actually have to. It has to be like approved at a FIDE Congress, and you get a certificate. It's a process. And they're like, oh, he made it in 12 years and 4 months and 3 days. He's not a grandmaster. Are they counting like Karyakin from the moment he was a grandmaster elect? I saw a list like Karyakin 12 years, 6 months, 7 months or whatever. But is Karyakin's date when he really was awarded the title or when he made grandmaster elect? Because that's very important. He's not a GM, Uber driver, understand? You have to get awarded the title by FIDE at a FIDE Congress. The tournament is here in Budapest. You don't get the title automatically. You know what I mean? Is Karyakin's date the moment he made his third norm, or is it the moment that FIDE awarded his title? I would imagine, like 15 years ago, or whatever, the Karyakin one would have been like when he officially got the title. I don't know, but I would, if you're going to be into that stuff, or, I was 12 years, 4 months, or whatever, then we better check to see that those people were all following the same standard, When did the Karyakin actually get awarded the Grandmaster title? If this guy's going to break his world record or whatever, we've got to play by the same rules. He is not a Grandmaster until FIDE awards him the title officially. It's important, People here in Budapest are trying to promote that because it was held, he stayed here and made all of his norms in Hungary. But anyway, I just want to say it's not fair to the other players. If the rules are not consistent, that they're holding them by. Not to be like a naysayer or whatever. I just wanted to be fair for everyone. Karyakin's record should stand. If his age record was when he actually got awarded the title, not when he made his third norm. Anyway, a lot of people don't understand how it works. But back to chess. Uber driver, why bishop f4? Knights before bishops, my friend. It says he qualified for GM title. So maybe it's the same. I don't know. All the resources now, of course, the resources make it easier. It's not just that. A lot of things. When Karyakin made a GM title, you were required to have a round-robin norm, although that wouldn't have mattered in this case. They're moving the goalposts all the time. So they were counting from when he scored his third norm. So technically it's all a lie, It's technically all a lie. It's like claiming you're president of the United States when you win the election. Was Joe Biden president of the United States in November? No. He was president of the United States when he was certified in January by the Senate. This guy is not a grandmaster until FIDE officially awards him the title. Just saying, there should be respect for the process. A lot of times there could be some shady tournaments it's got to be like, you know, formal. The formality is important. All right, but I still don't understand why Uber Driver didn't play knight f3. I like knight f3, queen e7, knight c3, knight takes knight d5, knight f3 check, g takes f. And you'd be surprised how many people play queen d6 against me. Sort of weird. But anyway, all right. Uber Driver with bishop f4. You give him another possibility for that queen b4 check. No, so this is weird. Absolute respect there from the chess bra. Against Steven Zierk, losing with the England Gambit. Mr. Coffee, what? He must have been at his second norm for a long time because they just restarted with board tournaments in the US not long ago. Mr. Coffee, all of his norms are in Hungary. He's been here for like 6 months, playing like Grandmaster tournament after Grandmaster tournament. He must have played like 7 GM tournaments in the last 6 months. Or however many there have been. No, like all of his norms are here. It has nothing to do with chess in the United States. So, bishop d2, queen takes b2, knight c3, knight b4. This is entertaining. What about rook c1? There is a gambit with bishop b4, rook b1. I don't understand this. Like, you actually want to do this? Why do you even bother? I don't understand why we're even discussing this. Why don't you just play knight f3? And on queen e7, you're going to transpose with bishop f4? Alright. So it doesn't matter in your book. I guess this is kind of an interesting move. Similar to one of my Budapest Gambit games with Schieberspieler. This actually looks fine too. Black has a little bit of pseudo compensation. There's no way that you should play this crap against an opponent who's over 2200. Wow, this exact line. That's funny, Schieber. I can't believe you're actually wasting your time on that. The Budapest Gambit is one thing. I wouldn't spend time on the England Gambit. There's more important things in life. You're getting simul tricks. Yeah. For simul purposes, maybe. Alright, knight c3 here. Yeah, that's the line I was recommending. Giving the pawn back, though. I mean, my argument is this. Like, you don't need to hold the pawn. I just play knight here. Knight takes e5 and knight d5, and knight f3 check, g takes. I like this for white. There's no risk. We're not up a pawn, but we have like a massive positional advantage. Now black has to play queen d8. I don't know, man. I mean, for my money, this is better than holding on to that pawn on e5. I feel like white has a pretty huge initiative. How about bishop f4, d6? Stefan Bucher, creator of the Vulture. And I think my analysis was e4. But it looks like it's not that big. Maybe e4 is not so hot. So the Latvian guy Meshkovs has a serious game with Bucher. Queen d4, perfect move according to the engine. So this is literally the best move. I like this playing for position rather than material. But objectively, maybe your way is mathematically stronger. I have a thing about, allowing unnecessary complications. Alright, so you're saying this is the move? Normally. Oh, they sack the queen, or what? This is like a chess.com idiot tournament or something? What is that? Like, the chess.com Tuesday bullet event? I mean, I really hope this guy wouldn't seriously play this in a real game. So what about rook c1? And you're just winning a piece, right? It's not so simple. Yeah, it's over. So what did he do wrong? Besides playing the England Gambit. The night before it was just... Well, it's all garbage. The whole line just loses. The best move for black is queen e7. So, holy crap. Daniil Dubov against Golubov, this kid that I played here. The guy literally played this against Dubov and drew. That's insane. But it definitely makes more sense than taking on b2. That's funny, like the best move according to the engine, bishop g5, queen b4 check. That's what happened with these guys. Oh, it's a friendly draw. They're buddies. Golubov's probably like his student or something. It was probably a friendly draw. Golubov just got a free draw from Dubov. In like a losing position. Probably rapid or something. Bishop c3. Oh, this happened. Okay. f6. It wasn't a free draw. Cool. So this is relevant. This is Schieberspieler. Nice job, Mr. Coffee. Mr. Coffee. Showing some moderator spirit. Good job. Way to ban that guy. How dare he call our chat boring? You're boring. We've got G3, but the engine likes E3 better. It's a Fort Knox French where you're up a pawn. That's not bad. I'll take it. Schieberspieler will take it. Alright guys, enough of this. So, just last mention, bishop b4, rook b1, queen c3. Yeah, this is the game that Hambleton lost. Take, and bishop takes e5. Argues that black is total blockade, and what fantasy world are you living in? Who argues that? Is that like an Eric Schiller book from the 70s or something? Total blockade, like... There's tons of play in this position. I admit, like, Larry Christensen could probably, like, beat a 1900 in the US Open with black, but... yeah. Sure. What GM is that? Is he selling it on YouTube? Sounds like someone's trying to sell some snake oil. Dude, there's a game he lost right here. What are you talking about? The game's right on the screen. He lost against the only good player he ever played it against. Alright. Dude's worse than Eric Rosen. I've lost a lot of respect. I never had much, but... Alright. D4, Knight F6. It makes good content for their chess bra stream, dude. But I mean, there's a difference between YouTube and Twitch and real world chess. Yeah, you missed your game analysis. So this is Tezek against Tomas. Tezek is black. Tezek, by the way, it seems like you've been playing better and better lately. Tougher and tougher. A lot of improvement. So we've got the Nimzo against the classical. Lots of options here. We're all looking forward to Schieberspieler's game against the anti-vaxxer. I'm curious too. I almost lost to that guy once. I did. I resigned in a +5 position because it was too absurd to continue. Bishop takes c3 check. Queen takes. Now, I recommend d5. Really, that's objectively probably the best move. But it's very, very drawish. I've played b6. Never really got good results with it. That's like kind of main line. Lots of theory with b6. b5 is like the Dorian gambit. Playable. But objectively the best is d5. This like almost equalizes by force. I don't know how white gets an advantage against this. It's very, very solid. Basically the plan is to like take on c4, play b6 and bishop a6. The only move that feels a little annoying, I guess, is like pawn takes d5, but you have to find knight e4, queen c2, e takes d5. Carlson Kramnik, 2009. Kramnik Anand. Bishop f4. This I guess you have to study, but I would recommend d5 if you want a solid game. Maybe this is better for playing for a win. b6, it's more complex. This is like very classical style of position. The black's usually playing c5. You held off on c5. I had this game with white against Yurpishin once. b6, bg5. When is black supposed to play? I think that Kashishvili played this against me. I had no idea what I was doing. With white I lost. But I think I had this with Yurpishin. And then black plays usually c5. Okay, so now we just like get out of book. What is rook c1? Kind of a weird move. There's nothing wrong with what you did. There's nothing wrong with what you did. It's kind of passive. A little passive. Is c5 a transposition to something? You know, even c5 is okay. Okay, we do transpose to something. Like, maybe after an enemy d7. Even this is okay. But rook c1 is bizarre. Now he's like really asking for c5. Because the rook will be stupid. The rook will have no purpose on c1 whatsoever. You play knight of e7. Now, well, there's some game with b4. That's slow, but it makes sense. Because, like, here, at least on c5, you can do, like, dc5, bc5, and b5. Well, this is apparently no good. White's king is too slow. Damn. Look at the advantage for black. Okay, b4 is too slow. It's out of the question. Rook c1 is slow, too. But white needs to get his king side developed. And what is happening with his king side? Now maybe c5. Because if you play c5, then you're threatening knight e4, for example. Like, for example, if you play knight here, he has bishop takes d8, knight takes c3, bishop takes c7. And this pawn is falling. But if you wait and you play c5, now technically you're threatening knight e4. Maybe. Maybe not, though. Maybe you'll have like bishop e7 at the end. Whatever, you don't have to play c5. I still think it's the best, though. You don't have to play knight e4. I think you need to play c5. You can play h6 if you want to. But I would definitely play this. And we want to play here, and like here, and take, and d5. I'm not sure if we're ever going to get knight e4 in this line. h6 slightly weakens your king side. Not a big deal, though. I mean, you can still play c5. He has this, however. Later on, you'll have knight g3. This is the main thing, c5. You're going to play c5, you're going to come to the c file, put pressure on c4. Maybe trade. What I'd like to do is something like this, like rook c8, castles, take. You can take with the pawn, isolate his pawn on d4. Play d5. Maybe he has to play like this. Let's see. For example, this position. Slightly better for black. Just an example of how you might play. You don't have any bad pieces for black here. This isn't really a bad bishop. You can trade on c4 when you want to. There's no way you can keep that bishop bad. So I was thinking now maybe this very passive, but knight f8. Knight f8, knight g6 to break the pin. But white looks to be like slightly better here. Yeah, I mean, you're a little passive. I guess a5. I would be wary of c5. This is strange. Wow. I am not comfortable with g5. So what happens if he sacks a piece? Let me see. Oh, you have immediate knight d5. Oh my god. Wow. Alright. Now it looks like 4 knights variation. It's got the Aster mate lined up. F5's alright. This is alright. This is alright. You might want to consider queen e7. But I like f6. You can also protect with knight f8. It's a Nimzovich-ian position. He just drops the g2 pawn. You're basically close to winning. Now I guess like g4. White has nothing else. I don't know what to recommend. Where is he going to put his king? Now e5. That looks pretty strong. Actually, no, you just blundered. You have this. You should just take on d4. So this is really bad. This is crushing. He's totally lost. You gave him a break there. It's not only the pawn, but his king. And you don't mind trading queens 2 pawns up here. Really nothing else. You're going to be 3 pawns up. Easy. You have all your pawns. Nice pawn island. Giving him a little bit of play there, but it's alright. And it's over. Okay, good game. But I mean, the opening could probably be played a little more accurately. Okay, now we've got Schieber-Spieler versus Anti-Vaxxer. Alright, I'm going to stop joking now. What is this? A simul game? 3502? What is with the time control? Why is it 3502? I still don't understand the time. Why is the readout 3502? I don't know, I guess I'm just getting old or something. Weird. So it's simul game. 5 plus 20 with 30 extra for you. I still don't get it. I guess those initial times were just weird. So Schieber-Spieler is white. Standard English. D5, spicy move by black. Very combative. Personally, I always play like knight c3. Usually. But this is quite an unusual shot. D5. This could transpose some kind of Fianchetto-Grunfeld. What's up with D5? Is that like engine #1 move? It's up there. It's a secret move. Yeah. But D5 is surprisingly strong. Played by Li Chao and the Pomniachi. It looks like CD5. CD5 castles. Wow, and there's like no theory here. There's literally no theory. One game with these guys. And even Isibichi even played a weird move, E4. That's crazy. Man, that's apparently bad. We're in totally uncharted territory. Alright, so Schieber-Spieler plays it safe. Transposing to a symmetrical King's Indian. Yeah, I don't like queen takes d8. But queen trades are welcome. I mean, you know this is a slight inaccuracy. Probably giving him the open file. But remember, Schieber-Spieler is playing a simul with very little time. Lock3SS is gifting a tier 1 sub to community First gift sub in the channel. Welcome to Mr. Moose TL. Thank you for the gift sub. So I don't know. Sheever Spiller's just trying to be practical. He knows this isn't White's best move. So you had a slight mix-up in your preparation. I mean, these types of variations are generally very equal, with both sides like taking on c5. White's playing for like some sort of very tiny advantage. Are we still in book? We're out of book. Leaving him with a weak pawn on c6. Now black has c3. So tell me about c3. Lock 3SS, last time you had family emergency. Sorry about that. I hope everything is okay. What about this move? You just take a pawn. But it's probably playable for black. He can probably pull it off. What's the engine's suggestion? Number one move. Should be 6. Takes. And this is probably accurate. Holding the E pawn, giving you King G2. It's natural to want to play like Bishop G2, but I think Sheever's move is probably superior. Bishop F3. Now black owns the file, and he's held his weak pawn on C4. Now this is an interesting moment. I mean, it looks like Rook C7, but it runs into this move, and black will really lose the A7. So it looks like Rook A5 is the only move. It is. The only good move. Gotta be careful of B2. Wow. I don't think I would have foreseen that. What is that, engine number one move? Yeah. It's a lot of engine number one moves for black. Using... Has he used his time? He's used no time and he plays like the engine's number one move. Yeah, like perfect game. Pretty sus. That's a very sus move. I mean, C3. I'd be concerned. Black played like, yeah, another number one move. And now you offer to draw with knight C4. He's winning with bishop takes C3. 2 pieces for the rook. Take, 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 take. I mean, it may not be that easy for black to win, but he's definitely clearly better. Probably winning in the hands of a master. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Not a game that we really need to go over here. Maybe in the computer chess review department would be more appropriate. So, anyway, let's get that out of the way. That painful game out of the way. I didn't know it was like such a perfect performance by black. Very impressive. Draco Fire submitted the following game. We've got 3 left. It's supposed to rain, but it's not raining. That's excellent. All right. we've got 3 left. Dracofire is black. It's knight c6. Thanks to JLu for donating some bits. Move 11, lock 3 SS for some gift subs. We had some resubs. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. We'll be back Friday morning at 11 a.m. CEST here on lichess. Knight f3, d6, d4, d5, and this is critical. I had a game where my opponent played, however, I should have mentioned, white should probably go d4 directly. Knight f3 may be a little safer. But after this, I mean, I don't think white's position is as good as like knight c3. If you have knight c3 here, I had a recent game, it was like d4, d6, knight c3, knight f6, and now d5, knight b8. White has the ability to play f4, which is actually quite interesting. Or maybe I actually lied and white played this first, followed by c4. That's even better. Even better. Lots of space for white. But it takes skill to play with a space advantage. That's why I try it against weaker players. So d6 here, knight f6. It's also possible to play g6. Again, knight f3 is not a very aggressive move. It limits white in a lot of perspectives. So for example here, like d5, knight b8, you get people play like the odd queen d4. This is probably nothing. Trying to attack black with these primitive queen moves. Knight f3 limits how aggressively white can play. Alright, so anyways, maybe white should just chill and play knight c3. That's what I would recommend. And I used to play this, but there's some problems here after bishop e3. So I would recommend g6 instead. But that's not what happened in the game. We have d5, knight b8. The pawn is hanging, so knight c3. This is still standard. And then e5. This is interesting. A new move in the opening explorer, but not ridiculous. I would normally play g6. It's a Pierce of sorts. And it's been played by some good players with black, probably. Not everyone's cup of tea to play this d5. You know, opening the bishop. I think this open diagonal beckons for like bishop g7. So, anyways, e5 an original approach. White has a choice now, closed or open. Both are reasonable. Something like bishop c4, computer will probably claim a large advantage for white, but that's hard to play. You know, this is more open. I think we got to take with the bishop here. Structurally dubious. I mean, even just like e5 looks... I don't like the look of this for black. I don't think there's a choice. So Dracofire is too experimental. I think you got to play bishop takes and play it like an exchange Philidor. It's kind of a weird exchange Philidor with your bishop on e6, but it is what it is. Either bishop e7 or maybe you can still play g6 and bishop g7. But this doesn't look right. e5 is too strong. If you take here, your pawn structure is destroyed. Other options don't look that great. This is like Tony Miles on magic mushrooms or something. We've gone too far over the edge of playability. Steinitz, I don't know. Is it like Steinitz on a really bad day, or black's position is he's gone too far, man. This has gone too far. So obviously this is a possibility. What happens here? Takes. these pawns... By the way, if bishop takes g5, pawn takes here. Queen takes c7, knight takes g5, queen e5 check, knight e4. That looks okay. I don't like these hanging pawns, man. Yeah, bishop g5 is very, very strong. You just have horrible hanging pawns. This looks... I don't think there's any way those pawns are going to survive on the open files here. Yeah, Husky, you're welcome. I just try to do the games in order. If there's any time, like, when you submit a game to the stream later and you say want to be at the end of the stream or the beginning of the stream, I can probably arrange that so you can be here for it. I just don't like black structure. It's really bad. In the game, though, he played ED right away. Of course, we can play bishop takes. It's not great, but it's maybe not as bad. No, now this doesn't feel right. It's still fine for white, but it looks like white's not developing his pieces. It's clear, like, cheapo. But you're moving the same piece twice. I have the feeling that white might probably has something better. I mean, what about, like, developing naturally? I doubt knight g5 is the #1 move. It's not even in the top 3. Bishop g5, bishop e3. What do all these moves have in common? Bishop g5, bishop e3, and bishop c4. They develop new pieces. It's early in the game. You're moving the same piece twice. Classic. So now Dracify got tricky. He castled. I mean, clearly, like, knight f6 is safe. Trickier move. Hoping for this. Same piece twice. Sound familiar? That's the second time in a row white has moved the same piece twice. And it's only move 10. Now we eliminated one dangerous piece. Limited our disadvantage perhaps to some degree. If white castles, there's bishop takes h2 check. Queen h4 right away. I think I would go with a developing move like knight c6. On this you have queen e8. Maybe other things. There's always, like, for example, knight g5, queen e8, queen e2, knight d8. I mean, if worst comes to worst, you could always play that. It looks like black's holding on. But this is interesting. He went queen h4 right away. I suspect white is okay here. White has long-term structural advantage. That's something to be trifled with. He just doesn't have as much advantage as he should have. Yeah, the engine doesn't like queen h4 check. Okay, you could have traded queens with bishop b4, but I mean, I don't know if you really want to trade queens with a bad structure. You know, like c3, queen d1 check. White loses his right to castle, but black's saddled with this weak pawn. Do you really want to trade queens? See, computers can't be practical. AI might be able to be practical. A true AI chess engine might have the ability for practical thought. But I'm not sure we want to trade queens with a bad structure. Queen h4, bishop d3. So he's moved his bishop twice. He moved his right knight twice, and he moved his left knight twice. That's 6 moves with 3 minor pieces for white so far. And now black played h6, preventing, like, losing the queen. A lot of that going on here. I would just play knight c6. I mean, I want him to fix our structure. These are hanging pawns, but it's still better than an Isolani. I really don't mind that powerful knight going for the bishop on d6. But you moved your bishop again. Simply c3. Bishop d7. Good move. Here, okay. Now can white castle queenside? Please? I mean, I still like white. If there's ever been a case to castle queenside, this is it. Why? You know, maybe there's some cheapos like rook d8 or something. You can always play f3. He's got the lockdown. He's got the lockdown on e4. This seems like a mistake. I mean, this is the third time he's moved his freaking knight. 3 times with that piece. Twice with the bishop on d3. White should complete development. +1. This is suspicious. There's this one cheapo here on e6. Like, who cares? Black's pieces are all over the place. There's a bishop takes g2, followed by queen h2. What are you going to do about that? Yeah, I wouldn't stream chess if I wasn't an experienced master. Just personally, I respect the people that do it, like amateurs and stuff. I'm not really a pro player anymore. Where did everyone go? I would call myself a semi-pro. I would say at some point you might have called me a professional player. But nowadays I'm a coach and very semi-professional as a player. But this move sucks. I mean, knight c5 looks like I need to get my king to a safe position. This e4 square, we're holding it down. We've got f3 after castles. White is the perfect position, man. What is black going to do? All we have to do is play f3, and black will suffer for like the next 30 moves. This is greedy, materialistic, and not developing. Why can't you take the pawn on g2? Alright, I guess there is a problem here. Like, if you play rook g1, queen h2, there's castles, and still it's very messy. This looks pretty messy. So maybe it's not as bad as all that. I would be pretty concerned with black here. All these pieces bearing down on my king side. I'm not real excited. But the computer is like, oh, it's completely okay. For a human, I think not so simple. So, alright, you did a rational thing. Like, you played bishop d5. I mean, if white plays c4, it'll create a lot more weaknesses. b4, d4. Then we take... I don't mind bishop d5. Peter says it's a mistake, but it's based on like 10 move variation. This creates some weaknesses. Now you have to take. And now this is apparently a blunder. The game's been analyzed, he semi-analyzed game. I prefer if people didn't do that, because it makes it hard to enter the game. And also biases my analysis. Rook g2. It all looks very natural. Can white play something sharper here? So apparently now, you had a better move, knight here. Threatening knight b4. Developing the pieces. Alright, so black's got his pieces out, white's got his pieces out. The black king is less safe. I think that's a very important factor. The single most important factor in chess is king safety. 100%. Whoa. We decided to sacrifice the exchange now. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I don't mind. I'm not materialistic, but I don't understand why we're sacking the exchange. I don't know how fast this game was, by the way. Time control not applicable. I have no idea about time limit, but I don't give away exchanges for nothing. This is guarded. I mean, and at the very minimum, you could play rook f7. Even if it wasn't guarded. This looks playable. So I am not really happy about king h8. I don't understand. And I don't understand why white doesn't snarf this rook. That is called a rook. It's worth more than a knight. It's not difficult to find that move. Instead, he just went bishop h7. I'm sorry, what? What? That is scary. Now suddenly, yeah. What about rook f6? What about rook f7? What about rook e8? Yeah, this is the move. Is there a perpetual check here? Like knight g7, bishop g7, rook g7, king g7, queen at g6 check, king h8, queen check, king h7, queen f7, king h8, and I guess you gotta go to g8. This is perpetual. Cooking rooks welcome. It looks like he could force a perp if he so desired. White there by sacking the knight, but I still think black probably okay with a draw here. I don't like black's king, it's not safe. But he played this, queen g6, and now this is double threat. I mean, knight g7 is kind of an awkward move. Like, actually, if you play knight g7, what are you threatening? Exactly. Bishop takes h6, maybe? It's not a good deal. Like, you don't want your bishop in front of your queen. The coordination is not good. You want the bishop on b1, not in front of the queen on h7. So queen h4, and the what happened? c4 is attacked. Suddenly there's like mates out of the blue for black. That's very nice. Very nice. You have this evil threat suddenly. So b3 is forced. Bishop e4? Does that just win? What am I missing? Knight f8. Knight f8 and the fork on g6, so rook f8. And then something like here. I have no idea what's going on. White's getting mated, probably. Like knight takes a2 check. This does not look healthy. Why is bishop e4 no good? It's protected. Oh my god. Sorry. Yeah, Schieberspieler, somebody realized I lost my mind. I forgot there's a bishop on h7. Never mind. Of course. That's why he put his bishop on h7. Thank God I even realized on my own. Knight a2 check. So this was best move. You should have played bishop h5 right away. That's computer. I mean, again, there's like knight f8, right? Knight f8, bishop g6, knight g6, king h7, knight h4. That's a rook down. That's not possible. So we've got to play rook f8. And what's our material now? We're down the exchange with some attacking chances. Again, you have to ask yourself, why did we sack the exchange for no reason? It's a blitz game, whatever, we're having fun. Right. Right. And now apparently white blundered. Though it's not obvious to me. Why is a blunder? Wow. Wow. Now it will become obvious. That is a sweet move. That is the idea. Rook takes, and now white, if he takes, he's just getting strafed. You'd have to give up a whole rook with like rook e2. And that can't be healthy. So the new idea is this, and it's just, oh my god, it's mate. But you have queen c3 check here. Oh, I'm hallucinating. I'm hallucinating. So now this I noticed as a Dracophire, he has some tactics. Recommended rook e2 and eat that rook. Oof. Check. You just take with check now. And black's simply winning. Crazy. Alright, man, very creative game. But that opening was highly, highly suspicious. You're lucky the opponent was not really aware of king safety and wasting time with multiple moves of the same minor pieces. Cooking Rooks in the house, welcome back. Guys, we have Blitz tomorrow, Friday morning. Sunday Simul, it's good to be back from vacation. I hope I look more beautiful than ever. I feel not bad. Weather's holding here. Thought it was supposed to rain. We got 2 games left on tonight's stream. Subaher versus Sparklers. Oh no. No. Subaher, always submitting your games against me. I'm too modest to share my games. I don't like to share my games. Okay, what was this? This was the weird game where I was in trouble. This is Simul? This is... no. It's a 5+3 game. Alright, this is Sumer playing white. I decided to try something weird. I played an old Indian, which is not really part of my rep. I do play d6, but normally not with knight on bd7. I played in the normal old Indian style with this move. I have played e5, the so-called Ukrainian variation, but I've never really played this in any serious games. Knight d7. Then I tried to transpose to a King's Indian. after e4, e5. He decided to play d5. I mean, personally, I'm kind of classical school of thought on this. You should keep the tension. So, knight f3 is standard. This move seems to have a good score as well. But pushing. So, I'm out of book here. D5's got to be good too. But I am completely out of book. Never played the stuff. I tried to transpose it to a King's Indian. It could transpose to a Samish, or more likely a version of Petrosian system. But White has some good stuff now. I think this knight is committed to d7 kind of early. I don't really like to do that. So, what is White's best move here? Very rare position. f3 seems to score well. Bishop d3 has a bad score, and it's the #1 move recommended by Stockfish. Once I had a game with Laszlo years and years ago where he did something like this and like bishop h6. Funny, there's a Michael Rode Mark Ritter game. Coach Ah was talking about how Mark Ritter always played the old Indian. Good luck against Mike, who's like very strong positionally in those days in his prime. What are the ideas behind f3? It's like, this knight is bad, man. It's a bad setup for black. Like, you just don't play this way against the Samish. So, if I were playing the Samish like this, I would do knight c3, g6, e4, bishop g7, f3, castle, bishop e3, say, and then we play e5, and White would play d5, and then we don't play knight of d7. It's just not played. See, like, look here, in this type of formation, 665 games with c6, knight h5, c5, knight e8, knight. Very rarely is it like knight bd7. E4 is solid, so knight c5 doesn't do anything. That's the main point. We have nothing to do with our knight, and it just gets in the way of the bishop on c8. Like, it's better to like probably play for a6 and b5 or something, I don't know, than to put the knight on d7. The pawn on e4 is solid. According to f3, our knight has nowhere to go, you know. It's just high probability that knight on c5 will get kicked away, and it doesn't do anything anyway. So I like f3. But he does this, tempting me into knight c5. It's probably a mistake anyway. Already black has a kind of like inaccurately played Saruwan / Makaganov setup. Again, I wouldn't normally put my knight on d7 so early here. It actually will go to a6 sometimes. I'd rather leave it on b8. So now I did like normal move, just like Ralph Mamedov played in like 2016. Okay, this is standard evaluation for closed Kings Indians. The computer is like, it's plus 0.7 for White. Guess what? That's like normal. That's like a normal size advantage. Move 11. We've got a5 preventing b4. Interesting, like Stockfish was looking at knight h5. Were you provoking b4 that it might be a weakness? It's interesting. Interesting idea. Now we transpose. I mean, I'm kind of surprised there's no games here. Can someone explain to me how this doesn't transpose to a normal Kaganov? I don't understand. I decided to try knight h5 to be aggressive. White can play like g3. That's what Dmitry Gurovich would do. But he decided to play knight e2. And now I should just complete development, I guess. And maybe this is interesting, going here. I mean, now I'm really delaying my king side too much. But I think black's already worse. Bishop d7, g4. That's also engine move number 1, but very logical. And so, alright, this was my plan. I don't want to block my f-pawn. Black's position is highly suspicious. But it is what it is. I got a fianchetto knight. I've got f5, maybe h5. Black is worse. Now bishop h6. Again, like top move according to Stockfish. Maybe second best move. Still very strong move. And I can't play f5. So I don't know. Maybe f6. But it's passive. So I play queen e7. Waiting, trying to discourage f4. Black's clearly worse. Queen d2, best move. He's played like perfect moves. And now f6. I guess this wasn't necessary. But this is instructive. Check out the Stockfish. It was like king d8. This never occurred to me. The best move is literally like king d8. It's coming around to my way of thinking though. f6, castles, and this is just crazy. I was literally in a state of shock when he castled kingside. I think what the thing is that he has the ability to castle either side, so he should probably keep that flexibility open. I don't know. Maybe f3. What if you just play f3 and wait? You could even play maybe king f2. But nevertheless, I was surprised by Castle's kingside. I guess he should castle queenside. His attack is faster than mine. Nevertheless, I don't have much play. Unless I have knight f5 or something crazy. There's no way to move my knight. Another advantage of this, as strange as that seems, is that I might be able to play knight e8 to at least have a place to put my knight. I have never done that in a King's Indian, but it's probably been done. I'm normally not one to delay castling in a King's Indian. f5 was natural but premature. Now best move by white. Queen f7. Best move by white, number 1 by the engine. h6. Best move by white, number 1 by the engine. And now I'm like close to lost. He played a whole series of engine moves. I'm like perfect. I'm basically busted. And now I blundered in a very difficult position where I should be basically lost. I tried. I don't know what to try. Objectively, this was best. But I decided to try this. And I'm just toasted. Here he played a good move. He takes f5. And then I'm just lost. g5. And now this was the most unbelievable move by white. 54 seconds. He plays the engine, sacrifice, knight takes f4. I mean, maybe it's natural, but I mean, it's also strong to just play bishop f2. You know, you don't have to sacrifice a piece here to see that white's just going to play like knight e4, knight e6, and smash my face in. You know, if I'm white here, I have 54 seconds against a strong player. I'm not thinking about whether or not knight takes f4 works. I'm definitely like playing this safe plan and coming in with 96, and I'm probably winning. But white doesn't have a lot of time, yet he plays the best move according to calculation of the engine at depth 1623. But obviously white's development is overwhelming. You know, I'm toasted on the e-file. But at least I have a piece up for a moment. And now, a mistake. This is like third best move. Rook g8. I'm still lost. Check. Finally, I played the king d8. I should have played 10 moves ago. f6. I'm still lost. At least my knight has a square, right? And somehow I don't lose here. Because he doesn't find rook e7. I saw it during the game. And I was like, oh man. That's why I didn't want to look at this game. Yeah, I would have automatically played bishop f2 with 54 seconds. I mean, you know, you've got 54 seconds. It's a blitz game. This is winning. Like 94, 96, and there's nothing to think about. It's like, how is white not winning here? After 94, 96, it's like murderous. With king d8, knight d4. What am I going to do? h5? I can't even get my like queen over to the h file to like play for mate or something. You know, I mean, for me that's like a no-brainer. I wouldn't have found this with white knight takes f4, but it's very, very strong. So I'm just dead. And then for some reason he misses rook e7, trapping my queen. And obviously if takes, and I lose the queen anyway. So it's over. But he played this instead, and I miraculously survive. I have rook g5, perfect square. My king is safe. It's safe on the dark squares, comes up to c7. It was like a miracle of survival. c6, and I got a square. Engine actually says that was a mistake. I didn't realize I could take this. I was trying to play for time. And we made some inaccuracies here, but I think I was winning now. This is doubly protected. Though I imagine white could try to sacrifice a piece. Like this. Some sort of check. It's not that easy. I mean, I would be scared in this position, in a blitz game, about getting mated, you know? It's like, come on. You have to go here. Would you be sure everything's okay? This is crazy. Knight d5, rook d5. Like, queen d5, pawn d5, king d5. I guess 3 pieces for a rook is a little too much. But anyway, I mean, I really didn't want to see this game again. I was very unhappy with the way I played. And he should have beaten me, but missed the key move. And now he just goes berserk. And I just sack my rook. And it's like, loses all his pieces. Yeah, that was weird. I mean, he played an amazing game and just didn't play rook e7. Alright, last game for today was Pranav Sharma. Pranav Sharma against AHMDNJR12512 FM. 1510. Smells like a simul. FIDE Master simul. So Pranav Sharma is white. Guys, last game for today. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. here for Blitz. Thanks, Schieberspieler, for hanging out with us. Also, check his streams out. We've got Pranav Sharma playing white. It's the hyper-accelerated dragon. I know a lot about this. d4. So black can also play the modern with bishop g7. cd4. Now, it's a matter of taste. I mean, queen d4 is considered by many to be a very critical test. But anyways, knight takes d4 is fine. Here, 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 here. d6. No. There's no reason to play the accelerated dragon and then transpose to the dragon. Like that I know of. If you know there's a reason for that, let me know. Although I've done it probably by accident when I was like moving fast, the simuls and stuff. This doesn't make sense to play accelerated dragon, allow the risk of the Marazzi, and then play the regular dragon. You know, the point of the accelerated dragon is to play knight f6. That's the whole point. I would say the main point of the accelerated dragon is to discourage white from castling queenside, which is possible in the normal dragon. So for me, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you allow white to transpose to the normal dragon? However, white here can play, I guess, bishop c4, main move, even queen e2. Avoid the Yugoslav attack, but you're not avoiding the Yugoslav attack. I mean, after bishop c4, knight f6, it is a Yugoslav attack. f3. You're in the Yugoslav attack. That's my problem, you know. I don't understand why he's playing... What's up, Lionel Spoon, by the way? Why my criticism is for the FM. You know, why would he allow the Yugoslav attack after playing accelerated dragon move order? He's allowed all the disadvantages of the accelerated dragon by allowing the Marazzi, and now allow the Marazzi and the Yugoslav attack too. Doesn't make sense. So you should play bishop c4. Black will play knight f6, and then you play f3, and we've got a normal Yugoslav attack. Alternatively, white can play h3. I remember in the 80s, Andy Soltis did an article about this, but that would likely transpose something similar to a normal accelerated dragon. So bishop e5 is not a typical move. It doesn't allow white attacking chances. But the said FIDE master is now trying to do something crazy. He's like sacrificing an exchange. Obviously, black should play bishop d7. Oludapu Adu against Merlin van Delft. Knight f6, knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes c6, bishop d7. So I guess black just wants to have some fun here, messing around, but objectively it's unsound. And I don't see a problem with f3. Black is just down the exchange with very little compensation. Shall we consider b3? I mean, I think this move should be considered. Now, one thing I want to suggest is like sacrificing back the exchange. Just hypothetically, if black were to do something like this, you could play knight d5, give him the exchange, and have like a winning position. So I wonder if it would be best not to tie yourself down to this b2 pawn. Another option is queen c1. But again, I think this is your one weak point. Really clear weak point. I mean, there's two along those files. But maybe seriously, here, and the plan is to sack the exchange back. So let's say rook c8. Maybe this is a little bit of an issue. The problem with this two weaknesses. Yeah, if I could get it, I would sack the exchange back. Another idea is bishop d4, but I'm afraid of e5. So, alright, rook b1, bishop e6, kind of a weird move. I would think black would want to complete development here. This is solid. Finally, I mean, you're up the exchange here. I guess bishop d4 is not obvious either. Again, I don't know. It's fine. But knight back, you're dropping a2 pawn. What about queen d2? This seems like a sensible move. You know, you want to like slowly, maybe like slowly prepare that sort of knight e2, b3, c4, and then win. Any trades of pieces are good for white. But what's this? Bishop a2, rook here, and you get back on a7? Does that work? Bishop takes, rook a1, snap this. That's probably okay. b3. Is b3 just game over? I think this is like game over. There may be very little counterplay for black after that. Schieberspieler doesn't like sacking back the material. Yeah, but man, the thing is you're up to exchange and a pawn, you know? And if he like gives you the dark square, if he gives you the dark square bishop, I mean, dude, you have a pawn up, plus you're the better bishop, and he has more weaknesses around his king side. You're not like giving back all your material, Schieberspieler, you're just giving back some. Schieberspieler and I have a difference of opinion on material issues. I still think the white's advantage in material is extremely large, even if you give back the exchange. Dark square bishop for rook on a1. Another interesting move here is rook f2, because you got lateral defense. That might be best. I'm not sure what it does on e1. You know, this is multi-purpose. It even kind of guards the king on the diagonal, like a blocker. But seriously, b3 looks like it's over. b3, what does he do? You know, if he doesn't take, you're going to play c4. If he does take, you're going to play c4. There's a tactic. It doesn't do anything, right? No, we just take. Nothing. Hallucinations. So you should play b3 or rook f2. Here, this is still okay. This is still okay. Black is full of crap. Yep. Pretty good game by Pranav Sharma. And that's weird. I mean, I want to keep the chance of going into f4 with that knight. I guess I would try. King takes. There's this. I mean, white's winning, it's going to take technique. White is an outside protected pass pawn on b3. Probably the single most important thing here, besides the fact that he's up the exchange. Rook f2. Yeah, I mean, black, just not. This is a little awkward. This is a little awkward. Yeah, you might want to consider rook a1. I don't know. Yeah, he's not trading queens. That's getting awkward. And that's a real problem. So this was a weird game by a FIDE master. He just played like bullet. Basically hung his pieces. What about now? It's nice to have two rooks guarding laterally. He obviously couldn't handle the time limit. And it's over. But I'm unhappy with black's play. White played pretty well. Last game, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I might have missed some chat there at the end. Well, alright. That's it. Anyway, Pondo wants to say goodbye. He came on vacation with me. Hey everybody. It's great to be back from vacation. We went swimming, got a lot of tan. My black color is a little darker. Anyway, we had a good vacation.
Good to see everybody. See you later. Friday morning. I know my voice is a little weird. I haven't talked much lately. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.